Safety news on KCAA Loma Linda, sponsored by Teamsters Local 1932. Protecting the future of working families, Teamsters1932.org.
All right, good evening. Welcome to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streaming from the KCAA Radio.com website and MBRradio.us. We got to bless the show before we get started. Let's go. When I was in my mother's womb, I had a calling on my life to do something in the glory of God and marry it like a wife. Commit myself to his word and never be led astray. And when it's all over, when he comes, I'll be glad to see that day in the morning time. All right, good evening. Welcome to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also, stream from the KCAA Radio.com website, the station that leaves no listener behind, and also on the app. That's right. Go and download the app. KCAA Radio has an app. So whatever platform that you utilize, Apple, Android, whatever you got, you can download the app and check out all the other podcasts and talk shows that are on the network 7 days a week. That's right. All day long. Tonight we have a very always important show for you. Introduced to the gentleman here, Dr. Q, from some of my players from Ventura County Orcas. And he and I talked for a little bit, and I was like, man, come hang out on the show with us. So he's here in the building with us. Let me make sure your mic is turned on. Go ahead and say something to the peoples.
Check 2 1 2. Yes, hello.
Oh, we about to get it in. We about to get. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, man. It's a pleasure to be here. I really feel blessed and honored. And like I said, my name is Dr. Monroe. Pleasure to be out here in California. Yeah. Especially with another soul in Christ.
Yes,
you know?
So, yes, sir. Thank you. So we're going to get into his conversation in a little bit. We also have a guest. If you've been checking the social media, we got a guest that's going to be here. Shouts out to Ilya Daly, my partner in the Sports Collective as well, and Rob in the Zone and the Heme Factor. But Ilya, I didn't even know that Ilya had helped this gentleman put together a show. It's like this his first podcast. So we just connected on Instagram, and again, I invite everybody. Like anybody's can be on the show. So I invited him to come and hang out and find out who he is. So come to find out, Ilya was connected, had told him about me.
Yeah.
on the other side of it, and I reached out to the guy on my own. So we're all in alignment with our work.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's going to come on for a few minutes and talk about who he is, introduce himself. He's a Steelers fan. I watch the Steelers.
Okay.
What's your football team?
I don't really got a football.
You don't really?
I grew up, though. My uncle, he is Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Rangers,
right?
Yeah, that's his thing. Yeah. They're not doing so good this season.
No, football was Super Bowl today, so
look at that.
The Eagles have landed.
Look at that.
I guess we could say that the Eagles have landed. So I just felt it was time. Mahomes, he did his thing. Like he had his run.
Okay.
I always felt like, after so many titles, somebody else is hungry, just as hungry as you was.
Of course,
right? And so here the Eagles, with this rematch. And like I said, the Eagles have landed, so I think it was time for that next generation to take over.
Oh yeah.
Even though he's young and won all those titles, he's done what he needed to do. That's my feeling. Yeah, I'm for the underdog anyway. So
I love the sport though.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love the mental toughness about it. I don't really watch like games and highlights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I surround myself with my sports crew who definitely like those kind of conversations. I could talk trash. I mean, it's easy to talk trash, but for me, it's that mental aspect of sports, that mental toughness.
Yes.
And so I like that part.
Speaking of which, that whole mental aspect, I actually grew up a lot with that mindset when it came to anything. It's applicable to whatever field you're in. So you could be on the field playing the game.
Exactly.
Right? Or you could be on your way to becoming the next best doctor. Right. So,
right.
You take those mentalities with you because every day's a game, right?
Man, and what you point to when I hear you when you say that is our identity, especially as men. You know, we're looking for our identity at a very young age, and some are fortunate to find it in athletics.
Yeah.
You know, and some are fortunate to find it as being in the military or being a cop or being a doctor. But we're looking for something to attach that identity to.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're attaching ourselves to stuff that we don't want to be attached to, but we're driven to be attached to. You know what culture describes that the best for me?
What's that?
The Asian culture. A lot of their parents want them to be doctors and nurses.
Right.
And some of the children, I don't want to be a doctor.
Right.
But if I don't become a doctor, then are you going to disown me, mom and dad? Like, do I got to do what you want me to do? Or do I not get the freedom to pick a career that I'm interested in?
Right, right.
So for me, my dad was a barber. My grandfather was a barber. But my dad was like, you don't have to be a barber if you don't want to. You should learn the skill. Right. But you don't have to be a barber like me and your grandfather.
Right, right.
I didn't do it.
Liberty. Yeah.
I didn't even go to the school, but now I'm like, man, I should have went to at least I should have went to. I could have been doing my own beard and making some money on the side, cutting hair. So I was like, I didn't get it then, but he was like, you could at least do the skill and have the skill, the trade. And I'm like, nah, I'm not interested. I'm like, now I'm trying to grow a beard. I'm like, man, I sure wish I would have. Took them notes, Pops, but I got you though.
Hey, YouTube University, okay? Hey, that's still up.
Hey, everything is out there, right? Everything is on there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I will say, going back to like how performance is seen in this society and what looking into yourself, finding what truly calls you, has been something that's been denied, especially by our parents that do their part. They struggle, they survive for our sake, and
right.
So, for us to be in this position we're in, sometimes we feel like we owe it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also
what is that?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, what is that?
Right.
Yeah, what is that?
Man, it's a tricky thing. I feel like it's almost like guilt tripping.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm gonna say this because I scroll through social media and I hear parents even say, I'm doing this for my child, right? But I tell my daughter, you got to do this for you first.
Right.
Because if you're not okay, he's not going to be okay.
Right.
But sometimes as parents, we feel like we got to put our children in front of us. And I think that's what we hear growing up. And then it feels like I got to do that in return to that for my parent because they sacrifice. But I don't even like the word sacrifice either. So
I hear you on that one.
Right?
I hear you on that
because
one.
if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do in alignment with what God has for me, then nothing I'm doing is a sacrifice in performance, in experience.
Of course.
So I really see that even, and I share this, sometimes our language is our own trap. And if I feel like I got to sacrifice and give up doing this to do this, then I'm missing out over here because I'm sacrificing.
Yeah.
But what is that?
Yeah.
So when you say that about the child putting that weight on themselves for the parent, as a parent, that child, that's not my life. And sometimes we put our concerns and worries on our children so much to protect them from what we went through.
Right.
But that's not my life. That child's going to have their own worries and concerns about life. So the best thing that I can do, I learned, is put my concerns aside, talk to my children and find out, what are you worried about in life? What are your concerns? What are your worries? What are your challenges? And they'll let them tell me. Let them tell you. Because they're going to tell you something.
Oh yeah.
Right? And when they tell you, then you take that information and you nurture that to give that from a weakness to a strength, or from a lack of confidence experience to confidence in that.
Exactly.
But and we talk about it in the sports.
Yeah.
You hear athletes talk about like they're high school athletes and they're putting their whole weight of their family to get out of the hood. And they're doing all this training and because I speak about sickle cell trait and rhabdomyolysis, they're collapsing and dying playing sports.
Yeah.
But what's driving that?
Yeah.
And it's not right or wrong, right? It's not a right or wrong conversation. But as you said, what is it that we put that stuff on us back onto our parents? Like, I got to do this.
Yeah, no, I like what you said. Like, sometimes language is our trap. And I think when it comes to our parents and what their expectations are, and then also the culture we're in, it's like grind.
Yeah,
Sometimes I
exactly.
don't even like using that word.
Either that one either. I'm
You know what I'm
telling you.
saying?
What is that?
'Cause-
Hustle. What is that?
Right,
What is all of
right.
that? What does that mean?
I'm not trying to become less than who I am. I'm
No.
actually trying to become better. I'm
No.
trying to build myself and cultivate that. And I think
Yes.
if we did approach things with a different way of viewing it, or even how we speak to one another,
Yes.
we could definitely find the present that God's given all of us in this life.
Bro,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I don't like the word grind. I don't
Yep.
like the word hustle.
Mhm.
It just like you're describing something
Yeah.
without saying exactly what that is.
Ye-
It's a description
It's a description
of
yeah.
something,
Right.
but you're not saying what that is actually.
Right. And it's like frustrating because, you know, sometimes even with all that grind talk you put yourself in, you might feel like you're not getting anywhere.
Yup.
Find
And,
yourself.
and what does that cost you? It costs you your well-being, your health,
Mhm.
the stuff that you do with helping
Yup.
people with. So I'm sure we're going to get into that
Oh,
part
yeah, we
because
are.
I thought about, you know, the direction our conversation was going to go tonight.
mhm.
And I was thinking the body keeps the score.
Oh, yeah.
So the mental aspect of it, how does that how does the body deal with that? And I'm sure the work that you do around that is
Yeah.
directly connected.
Oh, yeah.
I know, I already know it is for myself, but that's kind of direction that I was going to go with you tonight
Yeah.
around your work conversation.
Mm.
All right, so here we go. This is
Yeah.
the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also, streaming from the KCARadio.com website. We're going to take this public service announcement break right here, come back, and my guests should be lined up and ready to go. Again, this is the Farron Dozier Show. Got Dr. Q. Is that Dr. Q? Is that cool?
Dr. Q
Dr.
is a great way to call me. Yes,
All right,
sir.
so we're going to play this PSA and come back and have some more dialogues right here on the Farron Dozier Show. Shout us out. What's the count?
Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives. In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Calmago. Calmago is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes. In moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia, not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Calmago decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Calmago.com to learn how you can get Calmago through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, man. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the vocal stylist of my man Bone Breaker Jones. On my knees, I'm begging guidance from the reverend. Mind trying benevolence, prayers feel irrelevant. Thought that I was heaven sent, the chosen one was evident. Smack to my face, gut punch, take my medicine. Sick to my stomach, no calling for my mama. Drama filled combos with the father, broken promises. Asking me to hold on, not knowing if I can go on. Been waiting for so long, sick and tired of the same song. Are you really kidding me? Burning third degree emergency, prepare for surgery. This is hurting me, certainly. Close the curtains, purchasing the final ticket nervously. Purging, rethink, seriously? Trying to take the higher road, feeling what's revealed what lies told. I was so now I'm wondering if you're listening. Please close the distance and please grant my wishes, please tell me what I'm missing. Come on. Lord, you gotta be kidding me. Lord, you gotta be kidding me. Lord, you gotta be kidding me. You can't tell me this the way that they supposed to be. Come on. Lord, you gotta be kidding me. Lord, you gotta be kidding me. Lord, you gotta be kidding me. You can't tell me this the way that they supposed to be. Man, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Don't break her. Remember me begging favors, comparing to my neighbor. Filthy, unworthy, still turning to the savior. Seat cushions in the pews, rarely played them. Yet with a straight face, I say we close related. That's great. Hypocrite nitwit with a Hippocratic oath. Thick skin to help cope and fight tight and new smoke. Soap opera drama focus problems to the Holy Ghost. Closed doors, poke holes, and bows of hope. Why hast thou forsaken me? I still trust and believe. I don't act to deceive, right things to achieve. Can't really see my shine decline. Woe is me, no chance to bereave. Reposing back to planting seeds. God, please, this gotta be the worst prank ever. Just saying to the fellas, I was getting it together. Now, however, I'm doubtful if I ever get a miracle. Knowing I'm a sinner still, Lord, can you hear me? No? Lord, you gotta be kidding me. Lord, you gotta be kidding me. Lord, you gotta be kidding me. You can't tell me this the way that they supposed to be. Lord, you gotta be kidding me. Lord, you gotta be kidding me. Lord, you gotta be kidding me. You can't tell me this the way that they supposed to be. Come on. Come on. Lord, come on. Come on. This has been a Bone Breaker Jones presentation from his soul. Come on.
All right, welcome back to the Farron Dozier Show on K. You can pull that button right there up. Yeah, there you go. Welcome back to the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also, stream from the KCARadio.com website. And if you're in your car and you listen to us on the AM FM channels and you got to get out, grab your device, type in KCARadio.com, click listen live or watch live, and you can catch us right in the studio on your device. All right, so I got my guest on the line today. How you doing, sir? You there?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
What's happening, man?
I'm good, man. Just got through watching the game and just waiting, just sitting back waiting to talk with you, man. I look forward to it.
Appreciate you, man. What was your take on tonight, man? What did you see for yourself in that sports world?
On one of my, well, I'll talk about that later, but
Yeah.
earlier I had said I went with Philly a couple weeks ago,
Uh-huh.
and then I did a back and forth with somebody yesterday, podcast,
Yeah, yeah.
and they kind of swayed me.
What?
And yeah, they swayed me, man.
What?
They made great points. They made
What? You gave up your position?
Listen to it, you'll see.
You gave up your position in one talk.
I just been watching.
Okay.
And it was just I thought Dynasty would just take over.
You thought that, yeah. I think most people did. Most people did.
So that's what I thought. I mean, Philly does have a good team. They got a real good team.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked at the score, but I'm not shocked that they won.
Right. I was talking to Dr. Q, man, and I'm like, it's a new day. It was time for the dynasty I got, that was complete. It was time for a new day. So I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do me a favor, introduce yourself to the listeners.
I'm James Jennings. Right now I stay in Kansas City, but I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Kansas City with Dorothy and Toto and Lions and
well,
Tigers.
that's Kansas.
Oh, that's
We in
Kansas.
Missouri.
Oh no, where you
We
at?
in Missouri.
You're Missouri. Oh, okay, Missouri. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
The bigger urban core.
I was about to go all the way to Dorothy and Toto on you. My engineer
Hey, they
said
right
shame,
across
shame.
the river. They right across the river, though.
Cool. That's the first thing come to mind in my head is the Dorothy.
Oh, everybody.
We
everybody
programmed
said-
for that right from TV.
And my family back in Pittsburgh and California, like, Kansas. I'm like, no, I live in Missouri.
Let me make sure you get this Missouri right.
Right.
But thanks for hanging out. I know it's a couple hours ahead over there, so I appreciate you.
No problem.
You know, for staying up and being on the show with us tonight.
No problem. Not at all.
So first off, shouts out to Ilya Daily. I didn't even realize that the divine connection, that how you and I connected, that you had done some conversation with him already. And
Yeah, he took me under his wing a couple weeks ago, man, and gave me
Yeah.
some ins and outs to help me because I'm just getting started. If you want me to talk about that,
Yeah, we're gonna get there. Yeah.
Please
okay,
do.
But he helped me out a lot, and he told me he was going to put you with, then I started following you, and I said, oh man, this guy got a lot of different podcasts. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Farron, you gave me some ideas, just watching how you move. So when everything is said and done,
Yeah.
you'll see what I'm talking about. But I took some ideas from you, man. I'm just letting you know up front.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Me and Illy had been together about 2015. We met at the LA Talk Live, and I just always, in my heart, we had a lot of people come through our shows as guests, and then I always invite people to hang out, and then people get that spark to find their own way. And I'm like, bro, that's what we do. We inspire others to find their way, bro, and I'm good with that. I don't want to hold nobody back. So whatever you see, my guy, I'm here for you. So I appreciate
Thank you. Thank you.
So
And I got to get you on my podcast.
So what had you even look at the podcast world, man? Is for you?
Okay. The etymology of it is basically, I watch a lot of them. I'm a big time Steelers fan.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And Steeler Nation is for real.
Yeah, I know.
So my wife was like, you're always watching these podcasts. You and your friends go back and forth, and you're really knowledgeable. You coach football, and you played basketball in college. You have So I'm like, yeah. I'm like, whatever. I'm not doing that. And she just kept doing it. And then I had a situation where I have a lot of time.
Oh.
So basically, I said, wait a minute, and it's like therapy to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I started doing some pilots, like where I would just tape myself and get used to, it's different when you're just talking, but when you're doing it in front of a camera,
Yeah,
and you're doing
exactly.
it solo, it's difficult, and I found that out.
Yeah.
It's hard. But then I started getting more comfortable. I started looking at editing tools and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And then one day last week, my wife said, I didn't know this was going to be so involved.
Welcome to my world.
There's more to it.
Welcome to my world.
Right. And she's like, I didn't know it was going to be so involved. I said, yeah, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to half it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it, so I want to do it right. I'm going to look for mentors. I'm going to look at people that are doing it and doing good. I'm not going to take everything, but I'll take bits and pieces and put my spin on it.
For sure.
Because the good thing about a podcast is that you're a producer, you're a writer, you're the director, you dictate.
Yeah.
So you got to have that right, and then you got to know your audience and things of that nature. So we started off with Steeler Nation Midwest. And basically, that was just a podcast. And then I found myself wanting to talk more about sports. And somebody put that in my head, Mr. Daly, gave me a good, he told me why I should do something like that as far as a group. And I came up with the tag of Big J's National Media Sportsnet Group.
Yeah.
Which is the parent.
Yeah.
And now all my podcasts will fall underneath that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have some podcasts, some social stuff, all sports.
Yeah.
Where I'll have different athletes and coaches on and things of that nature, tell their story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And their journey to let them to athletics, and if there was any downfalls, if there was any rough patches, we can talk about it.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
and just that's what I'm gonna do, man. I like doing it. I enjoy it, and I'm just trying to get better at it and get a wealth of knowledge from people who have been doing it a lot longer than me.
Yeah. No, thank you for that, sharing that information. Something you want to ask him? You hear something you want to ask him?
Oh no, I mean,
okay.
like, I really appreciate just what you've been doing, man. It sounds like it's really been working, man. I really respect it.
Thank you.
Before we move any further, I gotta go back to some conversations you mentioned. Mr. Basketball player, did you have a chasing hoop dream growing up? What was your chasing hoop dream?
Yes. I was if you know anything about Western Pennsylvania, it's football crazy.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So you grow up playing football, you're going to do that.
Yeah.
But not everybody, but for the most part, that's the number one sport
Yeah.
in that area of the country. But everybody has hoop dreams.
Yeah.
So, I started playing basketball, but everybody used to tell me you're playing the wrong sport. You're picking the wrong sport. And I'm like, and that just drove me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I did get some mail for schools, but more of them came with basketball because I really wasn't interested
Right.
with football. I played in high school, but I really, no, I was like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather hoop.
Yeah.
So, and I was undersized. I'm
Okay.
6'4.5", so
Yeah.
I'm undersized, and I played
yeah.
down. Yeah, I played down low, but but I was a little athletic, and it helped me out. I wasn't the greatest leaper, but I wasn't grounded either.
Yeah.
So, and then when I got to college, I said, you're going to have to change your position.
Whoa. To
Well,
what?
he knew it when he recruited me.
Yeah.
He just didn't say anything. But I had to play facing the basket, which I have never done.
Oh.
Because now I'm a 6'4" wing at the time in the early
yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
6'4", 6'5" wing player. Sometimes guarding twos, mostly guarding threes, but I could guard fours.
Yeah.
Because I had get used to guarding fives in high school, so most fours didn't bother me.
Right.
Just put a box,
Put a box
body
out.
on them.
Yeah, box them out, put a body on them. Yeah.
But then I realized, I said, man, but I ended up, but later on, I'm like, hey, I should have played football. But hey, whatever. It's over now. I'm 58.
Now, what sport did you coach?
I coach football and basketball.
Okay.
Oh, both.
So I coach both. So when back in Pittsburgh, I worked with some youth organizations where we did a similar to Pop Warner, but it's youth football.
Yeah.
It wasn't called Pop Warner though, but it was just a youth football organization. Did that, did some basketball for the youth, did some junior college coaching at a community college in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
They're pretty good.
Okay.
I thought I knew basketball too. I sat next to this coach. He's a junior college Hall of Fame coach. And I thought I knew basketball too. I sat next to him. Well, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, right.
I wasn't ready to coach.
At least you could admit that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to, because that's how you get better.
Right.
But then we moved down here. We moved to Kansas City in '03.
Okay.
And I wasn't coaching. I really didn't know anybody. I was working with high-risk youth.
Yeah.
But that bug for coaching kept coming back. And I met a guy. He happened to be the athletic director at a school. And he was hiring coaches. He was clearing out his staff and bringing in new guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I was one of them. And then he knew I had a background in basketball, but they had a basketball coach at the time. And so I was going to be his assistant, which I was fine with.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, he didn't come back, and I got named head coach.
What?
I did that for 10 years, man.
10 years?
Wow.
10 years. From 07 season to 17.
That's nice.
I had a couple players really play well. I had one player who was a Russian Athletic Conference Player of the Year.
Nice.
Went overseas and played. He played for UMKC. He was University of Missouri, Kansas City.
Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all remember Earl Watson.
Name sounds familiar. I don't know.
He's from Kansas City, Kansas, but he played for UCLA.
Okay.
And then he played for Phoenix. for the Suns, and he has some ties out there in
Okay.
California.
Okay.
So my guy would go out there and work out with him a lot and everything.
What?
But so yeah, then I coached a lot of EYBL. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's a high-level AAU travel team.
Okay.
EYBL is basically a Nike organization, and
We gonna have to talk
That's
because
big.
I'm actually working on some AU programs out here in California, where my area. I have 3 ABA basketball teams, and I
Okay.
want those to have the AAU portion of it for our children, developing our next generation of basketball. So yeah, in return, I'm gonna pick your brain.
Okay.
In that conversation as well. But before I
Problem.
let you go, it is Black History Month, right?
Each one, each one.
Yes,
Yes,
it
sir.
is.
And one of the conversations that you and I was having on the Instagram was about Pan American. You mentioned that
Pan-African.
Pan African.
Mhm.
So
Pan-Africanist. I consider myself a Pan-Africanist.
so
There we go.
when you share that, what does that mean when you share that with people?
From what I was taught, Pan-Africanism, and if you look at the definition, it's basically helping those of color across the country, across the world, not just in the United States, but people of color. Because we all, I don't want to get into that, but as far as the origin of etymology of man,
Of course.
There we go.
that's
Of course.
we can get it. We can go for days.
All for
Well,
it.
that's why Dr. Q's here. Dr. Q's,
Yeah.
when
All for it.
I invited him on the show after meeting him a couple of days ago, we talked about some of these conversations, and so we wanted to touch on that. So don't hold back.
Please
we,
don't.
No,
we want you to.
But with Pan-African, I just, I'm like, basically, I'm a spiritual person. I know there's a higher being, and I believe in that. But as far as like helping people and things of that nature, believe, people of color have it hard, man. And I'm not just talking about if you go to any other in the world where there's darker complected people, those people suffer.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where it's at.
Yeah.
If they're darker, they suffer.
Yeah.
And it's for whatever reason. I mean, some say it's the melanin. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, but I do know. I know that that's a problem, and I want to help. I want to help our community here in America as much as I can.
No doubt.
If I have the resources to do it, and if it's just words or a podcast or anything that I can give back to assist the community, then I'm going to do
Oh
it.
yeah. No,
Yes,
you're
sir.
right on point. Go ahead,
Yes,
Doc.
sir. No, I would love to even talk more about that with you, my brother, because I truly believe that is the case. I mean, even myself, my life, and everything I've experienced, I had to come to realize that was what I was going through, but it wasn't the thing that was going to stop me and what God had in store for me, right? So I remember from a very young age, I was told that I would never even know what college would be like. I would never even see to the age that I'm at now or even be where I'm at now. But as much as I could have listened to those people, I realized, and shout out to the smart guy, I like this mantra. He said, a thought creates a feeling creates an emotion, and an emotion creates a vibration that attracts things to you. So once I realized that it was all of my thoughts, right? And
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
the environment is going to respond
Of course.
to me. Even if I have a good thought, even if I have an uplifting thought, I've noticed that the environment is going to try to shut some of those things down.
For sure.
Right. So it's definitely been a journey, but like I said, that mantra, it's the thing that can shift us as a people, especially in this day and age.
Yeah. It's something for me when you go from that direction. When I took cognitive behavior at the VA, I knew that understanding principles was important because principles are to be used we're used by all kind of principles that we don't even realize that's running us. Right. And when I started putting those things in perspective, for me it was my ideology, my philosophy, and my theology. And at 40, I had to go back and find all new ideology, philosophy, and theology for myself, right? But the cognitive behavior course was like the icing on the cake because it allowed me to listen to how I talk and how exaggerated my thoughts were.
Yeah.
And when I got that, I could no longer say all or none or always or my mom abandoned me or my dad didn't love me. Like those were the conversations that I was having toward myself about myself. But that conversation in the cognitive behavior about where you're, because the other courses I took didn't touch that. They didn't touch that. They just said be with it. Be with your thoughts. You don't have to have, I told you, feelings and emotions.
Right.
You have to become them. Like I learned that as a way to live from, but it never really addressed the thoughts.
Yeah.
And when I started doing that course, man, I even when I say I don't love myself, I had to realize how much do I love Farron. Oh, I love Farron 80%. So then what's that 20% that I don't like about myself? And that's what I need to look at.
Yeah.
Because that 20% that I don't like about Farron, I might be projecting on other people as a protection to make sure you don't speak to that 20%. So I'm always listening for that 20% that I don't like and that you might be pointing out about me.
Yeah.
That's how powerful the brain is.
Oh, yeah.
So I appreciate you, sir, for that conversation, because it is something that as a black community, we have to figure out how powerful those environments are, but more so how we talk to ourselves. Right? Anything you want to speak to that?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, yeah.
No, you actually hit it on the head. I just basically, I just want to be able to do more. It's networking.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I meet you through Daly, and then my cousins. I don't know if my cousin, she's has a nail polish company. Her husband has a watch company. It's networking.
Oh, that's right. I had them on the show before.
That's
your
family.
family. That's right.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Little plug
right. Got you,
Little
Dave.
plug for people of color.
That's right. Compass.
Compass Times. Yeah.
Compass Times. Yeah. Got the connection there. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. Thank you.
Yes. So, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
With the doctor, talking with him. I love to sit down and rap with him. I would love to have you on my podcast, especially with my social one
Yeah.
that I'm gonna have.
Most definitely.
Because I definitely have to. I'm working on that one now.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure it's formatted right. I just don't want to throw it together. I don't want to just start doing a podcast on it. I want to, because I'm going to talk about Pan-Africanism.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about the meaning of it. I'm going to talk about networking, how important that is within our community.
Yeah.
I even want to get into, I'm not great at finances, but as far as like financial literacy and teaching people how to do, I don't get into that, but
Yeah.
but I'm willing to listen and maybe bring somebody on that knows that stuff, because our community needs that
Oh
stuff.
yeah, for sure.
And and we just, and then there's the and then the piece with the with spirituality.
Yeah.
That's definitely, if you got to get that first.
Got to get
Right.
But and
All right.
but basically that's it. I'm just trying to grind, man, and make this work. I've been doing this since end of October, beginning of November.
Yeah.
And I got 30 plus episodes.
That's good.
There we go.
That's
I'm grinding.
You thriving.
Yeah.
You thriving.
Well,
Yes, sir.
man, thanks, sir, for hanging out with us tonight, man. I appreciate you, and of course, we got a lot of
No
we got some conversations coming ahead.
Yes, we
so
do.
I appreciate you for coming on and letting people know who you are.
Thanks
Let
for
them know
having
how
me.
they can find you on your social media.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram. That's JMJJENN66, or Facebook, Big J National Media Sports Group.
All right.
Either page, and I'll have a website coming out this week. Actually, a landing page, but it's not completed. So, but basically, and then YouTube.
Okay.
If you go to my YouTube channel, JMJ Stiller Nation
Got you.
Midwest.
All right.
.com. So that's you catch all my videos and things of that nature.
And I got you tagged in my social medias as well, so they'll be able to see it once I post it. The fire's already posted, but they'll be able to go to that at Farron Dozier or at the Farron Dozier show and see your post on there, man. So thank you for hanging out tonight, man. I really appreciate
Hey, man,
you.
stay positive, both of y'all.
Pleasure
You
speaking
too.
with you,
Thank
brother.
you.
Appreciate y'all.
All right,
Thank
all
you.
right.
Uh-huh.
All right, this is the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also, stream from the KCARadio.com website, the station that leaves no listener behind. Make sure you catch me on MBR, that's the Military Broadcast Radio Network, MB Radio. That's my military talk show edition, Trench Talk edition over there. Catch me on God's House of Hip Hop, GH3, powered by Lit Live, the Revolution Radio Show. That airs on Saturdays at 7 and Sundays at 5 p.m. That's my Christian hip hop talk show. Beyond 2D is coming back, so you can catch me on Beyond 2D with Jessica every second and fourth Tuesday, 3 p.m. You'll see that on my website or my Instagram pages as well. So catch me there. You good, man?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Having
We
fun?
good. Yeah, I'm
All
having
right.
a lot of fun,
All
man.
right, we're going to play this PSA and come right back. This
Right
is the Farron
on.
Dozier with Dr. Q
There we go.
up next.
Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives. In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Calmago. Calmago is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes. In moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia, not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Calmago decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Calmago.com to learn how you can get Calmago through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.
It's about we're doing good. About time for a war cry, though. I think there's, I don't go nowhere unless I do the war. We need 1 minute to just kind of change the atmosphere. Just.
This your boy Sam Peasy, Kingdom Saints and Aints and everybody in between. It's time to wake up. I'm here to wake the body 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 up. Preaching, teaching, prophets, preaching, souls that's lost. He paid the cost. I'm here to wake the body up. 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 Preaching, teaching, prophets, preaching, souls that's lost. You might have started in a trap with a fact, cause you was always told that the streets had your back. Well, that's not fact. Can I utilize this track? Tell you how it started, man, we going way back. It started in a garden with a man in his worship. Gave 2 commands, watch it and work it. God felt it wasn't good to be alone. Took from his rib, made his house a home. Along came the tempter, started conversation. Theology, there was no relation. But the serpent did something that was flagrant. Went around God and he ignored the statement. Then the eyes of them both came clear. Notice no clothes, introduction of fear. We returning the keys to the kingdom. Waking up the body, cause it's that season. I'm here to wake the body up. 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 Preaching, teaching, prophets, preaching, souls that's lost. He paid the cost. I'm here to wake the body up. 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 Preaching, teaching, prophets, preaching, souls that's lost. He paid the cost. Got my mind right now, the light shine bright. I'm focused, man, ready for a holy fight. That Paul and Silas got me gigging, high stepping on them. Devil at my back because he know what team I'm repping for. God talk, squawk box, be the conduit. Joyful noise, praise the Lord, screaming, won't he do it? Come through, Judas, your nuisance, infiltrate the crew. Ruthless, useless, he still rose, thought you knew. Woo! I hear you talking now, spirit. Shine the light on my path, I'm dancing all in it. Praise back with conviction, yep, it's off in it. Celebrate the pearly gates, yep, we all win it. Forgive my sins and stride into my best life. To the end, pleasing God with my every try. To the darkness, leaving you with my last five. My, time for a war cry. I'm here to wake the body up. I'm here to wake the body up.
All right, welcome back to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also, stream from the KCARadio.com website. The station leaves no listener behind. All right, Doc, man.
Yo.
I invited you here, man, because, you know, I shouts out to my players, T-Mac, Estes, Edgar. They're on the Ventura County Orcas. What had you even get into this type of work that you're doing as far as the chiropractor and the things that you're up to with the body? Let's go to the body first.
Yeah.
Let's wake the body up.
Yeah, let's wake the body up. I like that. Yeah, it was actually an interesting journey, honestly. Like I said with the guest that came on earlier, you know, I didn't think I'd be here, but somehow God had plans in place so that my life would turn out differently. And being that I went to a school called Oakwood University, shout out to Oakwood, OU in Huntsville, Alabama, that's where the journey began. And since then, I decided that I wanted to learn more about the body, because in learning the body, I understood myself. Right? Yeah. So it's been about 10 years since I transitioned my diet to a more plant-based diet.
Okay.
And since then, just learning about how I can apply what I'm picking up on the herbs, what I'm picking up on how my body is benefiting from these exercises.
Yeah.
I came to understand some people like Dr. Sabi and Dr. Leela Africa. You know, they played a pivotal role in my life.
Yeah.
So once I picked up on their vibe and their books and what they were teaching, it kind of only made sense that at some point I was going to follow in their footsteps, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, getting into chiropractic, it definitely was up my lane. It's a alternative medicine that I think people are waking up more towards.
Yeah.
And I want to definitely educate our communities on the benefits of chiropractic care.
I want to go there right there.
Yeah,
real
go
quick,
ahead.
Because I advocate in the sickle cell community, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to speak from their conversation personally, but what I hear is it's difficult to trust someone who's doing the kind of work you're doing,
Right.
because we're programmed to look at the doctor's prescription first, right? And so our environment teaches us that we got to trust the doctor if the doctor said this, but then here are people like you who the Spirit has given you this whole other conversation to have with folks, and now you got to build this trust factor that comes in there. And I say this to people, it's not about trusting mankind. You put your trust in God, but at least you have confidence in man.
Of course.
Right? So I think as a society, we put so much emphasis on trust. I don't trust myself. So why would I put that stuff on you, right?
Yeah.
But I can have confidence in you.
Right.
And so do you have a notice that for yourself as far as helping people, or is that like okay?
Yeah. No, I actually like what you brought up. I think it's cultural authority, right? This notion that what we have been conditioned to see as a valid professional, as opposed to someone who's bringing not only the name of a field they haven't heard of,
right,
but a whole way of viewing things outside of a prescription.
Right.
I think it definitely takes educating an individual so that at some point, once you build what we call rapport,
right,
then you're able to sort of get people thinking of other ways that they can improve their health.
Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, you know, a prescription could be a good thing for one moment, but it comes with side effects. You know?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And shout out to my mom. My mom would always say as well, you know, even though it's medicine like that, God made everything for his good. So then you also got to put that kind of perspective, you know, in it as well, if that's what you believe. Let's talk about, some people say mind, body, soul, like they have all these ways they describe themselves.
Right.
I've learned to frame it for myself: spirit, soul, and body. How does your work touch each one of those aspects in whatever particular order?
100%. Well, definitely, it's all interrelated, it's integrated. And I like what you said earlier, the body does keep the score, right? So when I'm sitting with a patient and I'm understanding their history and what that comes with,
right,
it kind of makes sense that
They have that pain.
They have that pain. They have their pain. Yeah. Now that comes with mechanical reasons.
Right.
People are working. They're working and they're doing things, and somehow they slip and fall. Right. Yeah. Somehow they get into these situations where now they need to see a professional like myself. Yeah. But what stays there a lot is a psychosomatic, what we call response that the body's now having with how the emotions are feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it's all related. They can come at one point or another, but it's all on the patient's history.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to be different with that.
So you got to be able to listen to them, what they're dealing with, if they fail, how they fail, what was going on when they fail.
Yeah.
I mean, because how powerful the mind is, I know for myself, like, I was afraid to even exercise again because of what I went through and almost dying from that trade exertion.
Right.
Like, mentally.
Right.
I had physical pain, and then it turned into mental pain.
That's a good point. I like what you said there. Now, you said the physical pain, which turned into mental pain, made you not want to work out again.
Maybe not want to. The fear of exercising and collapsing. So what I discovered is I viewed the gym like the gym is going to kill me if I go to the gym. Like the gym was coming at me with a knife.
Right.
But it wasn't.
Right.
But how I talked and how I felt, that's how I described it as.
Hey, how you thought, how you talked, and how you felt, right?
Right.
Going back to what we was talking about earlier, right? It was just a vibration, right? Yeah. You was attracting inertia, right? When you should be active and be in motion with yourself is only going to help. But I understand, because the same thing when it comes to trauma, right? The way our nervous system holds on and sends the messages to now hold and store onto something that's past.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So in order to move on, you got to go back to like what you're storing in your mind.
Yeah.
And so a part of what chiropractic is there for is to help that nervous system work better as a conduit that deals with fewer obstructions. So if there's fewer blockages, then things can move better and you can work through things better.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned there's another part of this holistic work that you're working on right now. What is that? Say that real quick.
So right now I'm currently in acupuncture. I go to a school called South Baylor University, and me and my wife are currently getting our degrees in acupuncture. So we got about a year left.
Okay.
But like I said, with all of these modalities, I'm learning that the principle still remains. It considers the mind, body, and spirit, right?
Exactly, right.
And so it's just, how are we going to now affect and modulate how the mind is wired and how the body relates to what's wired. So
we got like 120 seconds. Black History Month. I know we talked about with Mr. Jennings. When Black History Month comes to your mind, what is that? What's the first thing comes to mind for you? When you
legacy. Resilience. So I'd say resilience. Let's stick with that, because we've paved the way for so many things that modern technology has now been benefiting on. So with that being said, I already know that it's only me and what I'm gonna pass on to the future that's gonna continue the legacy that we're playing in this healthcare field. So that's what Black History, which I continue to revert back to when I have that imposter syndrome. Am I even worth being in this situation right now? But no, I am. And everybody who needs to hear somebody tell them that they can.
That's the beauty of it. And for me, that Black History is we're already included. We're already included as a human being first. Right. And so the color conversation, we can have that on another episode. I hope you come back and hang out.
100%.
But again, thank you for hanging out for me tonight, for sure.
Course.
This is the Farron Dozier Show. Dr. Q is here. Give me your social media real quick.
Yes, sir. So you can follow me on Dr. Organic _DC. That is as a chiropractor. That's the letters we go by, DC. So Dr. Organic _DC. Vital Shift Chiropractic is the business.
For more information about where I'm at, FarronD.com. Everything is there. Shout us out. What's to count?
Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives. In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Calmago. Calmago is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes in moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia, not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Calmago decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Calmago.com to learn how you can get Calmago through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.
AM.
This important time-sensitive message